Retreats are not a luxury, ladies. It is essential to your soul growth. Did you know there are 7 key factors that you need to understand and master in order to manifest anything in your life? Well, guess what? I'm going to teach it to you. I'm creating a free training that's happening at the end of April. So if you're interested, head on over to momisincontrol.com/join. And the first key factor, I'm going to give you a little heads up right now, is getting super crystal clear on what it is that you want. Yes, I know this can be overwhelming. So guess what? When you join, head on over to momisincontrol.com/join, fill out your name and your email. I'm going to gift you my alignment PDF. This is curriculum taken from my mastery program that I'm gifting you just for registering for this free training. And during the free training that will happen at the end of April, and yes, there will be a replay, I will walk you step by step through the process, what these 7 key factors are, giving you resources and actionable practical steps that you can take today, well, not actually today, but on that day, to take back control of your time and your parenting. The secret here is once you understand how to manifest, you can transfer these skills to any area of your life. So if you're ready to finally stop just listening to the podcast, but start implementing and taking the next step, then head on over to momisincontrol.com/join. It's free. Okay, I'm back. Another day, another podcast. So I'm just about to embark on another retreat, hosting my ladies in my coaching programs who are coming to Muskoka Woods, Ontario, Canada, and we are retreating. No cell phones, no electronics, just you, your thoughts, and your soul, reconnecting to what you want, and unfortunately being locked in a cabin in the woods with me and nature and some amazing women. That is where magic happens. But I will be 125% honest with you because that's the only way to be in the world. This scares the shit out of people. Why? I have heard every single excuse you could possibly imagine. And this is the number one thing why women walk away from what they really want. I just can't. I can't leave my family. If we're going on vacation, we go as a family. I can't do it without them. My husband would be so mad. He wouldn't be able to take care of the children without me. Oh, my daughter has this, my son has that. I just can't. I can't. When you say you can't do something, you are closing yourself off to the universe. My intention for this podcast today is not to convince you to do anything, but to give you a different perspective on why experiences yourself are really good for your soul. I've talked about this before on the podcast, but I will say it again. One of the first retreats, and when I say retreats, sometimes people call things retreats, but they're not actually retreats. A retreat is where you are disconnected to reconnect to yourself. So that may look different on, depending on who's hosting it and things like that. But a retreat is definitely not where you're, stuck in a conference room and you are getting information like jam-packed down your throat. I feel like people are calling a lot of things retreats that are not actually retreats. So a retreat is where you're literally disconnected and you are reflecting. There is so much magic that happens in these moments. And too often people think this is a luxury. Yes, it's an investment. Yes, you have to travel. Yes, you have to do all those things. That's privilege. That is opportunity, and not everyone has access to that right now. Right now. But you could put a retreat on your vision board. You could make it happen. You just got to fucking work towards it. It doesn't mean you have to do it today, but you have to take specific action to get to where you want to be in your life. So it may be 10 years down the road for you. Who knows? But I'm telling you, it can happen, and this is not a luxury. So going back in time, this is almost 9 years ago, I think, when I attended my first retreat. I had no freaking clue what I was getting myself into. And my middle son at the time, who's 9 right now, so he was like 3 months old, and oh my gosh, I was still breastfeeding. I felt like a horrific mother. Horrific. I was a horrible human being. Absolutely horrible in my brain. But my soul, I felt, was slowly dying. This was even before I had cancer. This was like years before I was sick. And as you could see, like, I still got sick. Why? Because I had so much shit to deal with that putting myself first, like, not even putting myself first, like considering my own needs for 3 days was torment to my mental body, my physical body, and my soul was like, go, go, go. But my mind and my body were like, no, you are the worst human being I could possibly think of. So I went because there was a smaller part of me, this little voice that said, Heather, you need to turn the ship around. If you do not turn the ship around, you're going to do something horrible to these kids, because you're going to lose you're going to lose your mind. You are going to have to admit yourself into the hospital, and you may end up in divorce, because this is just not headed in the right direction. And I was honestly scared, because I did not know what my future held, but I just knew that if I felt this way, something needed to change. Like I was going to crack. And I went. And I cried, and it was such an opening for me. It was such a breaking open for my soul and everything that I was holding on to. And at the time, I was still working. I was working with my coach, and I didn't understand the process. I didn't understand the coaching process. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I just remember blindly going in. And I was like 23, guys. Like, I was pretty young. And was I 23, 24-ish? And oh my gosh, I felt like such a horrible human. And I just showed up, and I remember sobbing in front of all of these other women, thinking like, I don't want them to see me cry. I don't want them to see this vulnerability. I didn't even know what vulnerability was then. And I remember feeling so held and supported and loved, and just remembering like, I got myself here. I did this. I manifested this. I worked my ass off to pay for this, and I fucking did it. And I remember crying, and it was one of the first moments of gratitude, one of the first moments of like, if I got myself here, I can get myself to the next level and the next level and the next level. And so when I hear women say that retreats are a luxury, or, oh, I can't afford that, or, oh, there's no way I could do that, I can smell bullshit. Why? Because we always can find a way if we want to. We always find a way for that, wedding that we've been invited to in the frickin' Bahamas or Jamaica that you don't really want to go to, but you feel obligated to go to. Maybe. I don't know. We always find enough time when, or enough money when our children want to register for that next activity. We always find a way. If we have a huge leak in our roof and there's a huge hole, a big gaping hole, we always find a way to fill that. We always find a way when our computer crashes. Oh, you always find a way if your phone screen is broken or if somebody's dropped it in the toilet. You always find a way if your car breaks down on the side of the road. You find a way for some of these things because you believe you don't have another choice. Or you're pushed into it from guilt or fear. But when it comes to you, you can let that suffer. When it comes to you, you can push that off. But how come you don't ever think that your soul, unattended, your life, your emotional health unattended, isn't a big gaping hole in a roof? How come you don't ever consider that your emotional health is a car broke down on the side of the road? And then I look at cultural experiences. I look at healthcare costs. I look at the rise of mental health in women. I look at suicide rates. I look at the rise of anxiety in children. And I think, why? Why are all of these things happening? Why are these things happening? If nature grows back after the winter season, how come humans can't get their shit together? We need the cycle of replenishment. We need space and time to retreat. Retreating isn't a luxury. It's essential. And depending on where you live, where I live, we have 4 seasons in the year: spring, summer, fall, and winter. In winter, nothing happens. Everything goes dormant. It hides. It retreats. And then spring comes out, and it's new beginnings, new life. Summer, high energy, woohoo. And then fall, it's getting ready for winter again. Every natural cycle, the menstrual cycle, the female reproductive cycle, every natural cycle has seasons. And yet, as women, we believe we cannot retreat, even though it is essential towards our mental, physical, emotional, spiritual health. And I'm going to tell you, it's also essential to your business growth. It's also essential to your parenting. It's essential to your marriage, because you are the center of your universe. If I'm off, if I'm not on my game, my business suffers. I don't hit my goals that month. If I'm off, I'm a bitch to my kids. I'm screaming, I'm yelling, and then I feel out of control. If I'm off, I'm disconnected from my husband. When you are off, your entire universe, your life feels out of control. You are the center of your universe. So today is all about the mindset shift that when you think retreats are a luxury, I want you to reframe that into retreating is essential. And whatever form that looks like for you, make it happen. Whether you are giving yourself a day, or you're leaving for a weekend, or you are investing on the next level that scares the shit out of you to become a greater version of yourself, retreating is a part of nature. Big Life Journal. Have you heard of them? Are you secretly hoping your children do as you say and not as you do? Well, guess what? I've teamed up with Big Life Journal to help you give your children the tools and strategies that they need to live their big life. Their growth mindset journals empower children to face their challenges head on, think positive, and embrace mistakes. You can also check out their printables and activity cards. It doesn't matter if your child is a toddler or entering high school. Discovering how to live in a growth mindset is a lifelong skill we can all learn more about. To check them out, go to momisincontrol.com/big life and let them know I sent you.